Afternoon to everyone. Welcome to our new topic, the contemporary global governance. This lesson is intended to identify the rules and functions of the United Nations or UN, how this rule and function can contribute to our global issues, describe the challenges of global governance in the 21st century, and how these challenges change the worldwide rules, norms, and law, and explain the relevance of the nation-state in the midst of globalization. Global governance is making world affairs systematic, secured, and formulaic. Means it is a complex of institution, mechanism, relationships, and processing between and among states, non-state actors, markets, citizens, and organizations that articulate collective interests on the global plane, establish rights and obligations, and mediate differences. According to West and Tucker 2014, describes the global governance as a set of norms, laws, and policies that have a translational relation between citizens, states, culture, intergovernmental, and non-governmental organizations. In addition, it has no central authority because it is comprised of elements, methods from both the public and private sectors that evolve norm based on shared values and directives issued and enforced by the state. However, international relationships is a system that binds the state, people, and society together. On the other hand, Rees and Thakur pointed that global governance is the international connection to promote a set of rules, norms, or policy to give a solution in a global issues. Nations is an intergovernmental organization whose declared goals are to promote international peace and security, develop cordial relations among nations, accomplish international collaboration, and serve as a center for harmonizing nations' acts. Since the United Nations has the largest number of members among established global system, this section discusses the 6 organs, rules, and functions, and the first is General Assembly. It's the central deliberative and the only organ where all member states have equal representation in discussion and consideration and policy making. It also provides a unique forum for multilateral discussion of the full spectrum of international issues such as poverty, development, peace, and security, human rights, international law, and cooperation in economic, social, cultural, educational, and health fields. Security Council, the organ which has the primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. The Security Council is in charge of evaluating whether a threat to peace or an act of aggression exists, such as threats from violence and massive human rights violations within state, threats from terrorism, threats from organized crime. It encourages the parties to a dispute to settle it peacefully and suggests techniques of adjustment or terms of settlement. To maintain or to restore international peace and security, the Security Council may impose sanctions or even approve the use of force in some situations. Trusteeship Council. This organ is tasked to administer international oversight and to make sure that adequate procedures are taken for independence and self-government. Also, supervising the administration of trust territories as they transition from colonies to sovereign nations. Moreover, the Trusteeship Council is authorized to examine and discuss reports from the administering authority on the political, economic, social, and educational advancement of the peoples of trust territories, and to examine petitions from and undertake periodic and other special missions to trust territories in consultation with the administering authority. International Court of Justice, UN's prime judicial organ that has a function to resolve legal disputes submitted by states in line with the international law and to provide advisory views on legal problems addressed to it by authorized UN organizations and specialized agencies. Secretariat is the organ tasked to execute the daily activities as assigned by the 5 organs. It is because Secretariat is in charge of UN administration, which includes preparing the session of the UN bodies in terms of organization, editing a large number of reports and studies on which the decisions of the UN bodies are to be based, preparing draft text of resolutions, organizing the implementation of decisions, documenting the work of the UN while registering, and editing the text in their various stages, organizing international conferences, supplying interpreters, and organizing international conferences. To conclude that the 6 organs of the United Nations is responsible to maintain international peace and security, protect human rights, deliver humanitarian aid, support sustainable development and climate action, and uphold international law.
The United Nations was created in 1945 following the devastation of the Second World War with one central mission, and this is the maintenance of international peace and security. 1948, Declaration of Human Rights. On December 10, 1948, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was approved by the United Nations General Assembly in Paris. Delivering humanitarian aid, promoting sustainable development, and upholding international law. What is humanitarian aid? Humanitarian aid is assistance that used to relieve suffering during emergency situations. For example, donating blood, raising funds for a family in need, volunteering at an animal rescue organizations. The objective of humanitarian action are to save lives, alleviate suffering, and maintain human dignity. The organization uses good offices. It is an organization to maintain our peace and security, the development of activities in local countries such as the fight against terrorism. The UN oversees the protection of human rights by reviewing, monitoring, reporting, and commenting. Pinangangasiwaan ng UN ang proteksyon ng mga karapatang pantao sa pamamagitan ng reviewing, monitoring, reporting, and commending na nakabase sa bansa. Since then, there have been many UN human rights conventions and declarations, shaping a system of international law and standards that protects us all and promotes our rights, ending racial discrimination, discrimination against women, banning torture and genocide, and protecting the rights of children. Responsibility to protect. We must be aware of our responsibilities so that we can protect our rights as well as our country. Responsible for coordinating emergency responses. Ayan. So bilang pakikiisa, dapat ay tumutulong tayo sa mga ganyang emergency. Alangan namang nasusunugan ang ating kapitbahay ay tayo walalaanghan eh. So we need to coordinate during emergency responses. It is our responsible to help others. Supporting rapid humanitarian aid. When we say humanitarian aid, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, it is to save lives and help those who are suffering. So we need to support humanitarian aids for our good. Example dito is yung disaster relief. Ito ay ang mga likas na sakuna na isa sa mga pangunahing sanhi ng pagkamatay at pagdurusa natin at ng ating mundo.
Hello everyone, I'm going to explain the Millennium Development Goals, also known as Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goals promote sustainable development, and serve as a roadmap for achieving a better and more sustainable future for everybody. Sustainable development addressing global issues such as poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. Sustainable development have 17 goals na kailangang ipatupad hanggang sa taong 2030. The 17 goals of sustainable development are: number 1, no poverty. It aims to ensure social protection for the poor and vulnerable situations. Number 2 is zero hungry. To make sure all people, especially children, have sufficient and nutritious food all year. Number 3 is good health and well-being. Aspires to ensure health and well-being for all, including bold commitments to end the epidemic of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other communicable diseases. Number 4 is quality of education to ensure that all girls and boys complement free primary and secondary schooling. Number 5 is gender equality. Achieve gender equality and empowered all women and girls. Number 6 is clean water and sanitation. To improve water quality, water treatment, safe reuse. Number 7, affordable clean energy. To ensure universal access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy services. Number 8 is decent work and economic growth. To achieve full and productive employment and decent work for all women and men. Number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure to build resilient infrastructure, promote exclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Number 10 is reduce inequalities. To ensure equal opportunities and end the discrimination. 11. Sustainable cities and communities. It's reduce the environmental impact of cities. Number 12 is responsible consumption and production. It is to ensure sustainable consumption and production pattern. Number 13, climate action. Urgent action to combat climate change and its impact. Number 14 is life below water. It is conserve and sustainably use the ocean, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Number 15 is life on land. It is protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem, sustainably manage forests, and combat desertification and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. 16 is peace, justice, and strong constitutions, promoting peaceful and exclusive societies, providing access to justice for all and building effective, accountable, and exclusive institutions at all levels. Last is partnership. To ensure innovative technological development, fair trade, and market access, especially for developing countries like Philippines. To build a better world, we need to be supportive, empathetic, inventive, passionate, and above all, cooperative. Coordination and coherence is the center of sustainable development. It composed of transparency, accountability, and effectiveness. When we say transparency, it increases awareness of the impact human activities on the environment. Meaning, kinakailangang i-demonstrate o magpakita sa mapagkakatiwalaan o convincing na paraan. 2 is accountability. Is the acknowledgement of responsibility by an organization for actions, decisions, product, and policy that it undertakes. Last is effectiveness. The effective sustainable development tries to find a balance between economic development, environmental protection, and social well-being. In addition, international law refers to the norms that govern state interactions. Despite the absence of a superior authority to enforce such norms, governments see international law as binding on them. And it is this reality that gives these rules the character of law. On the other hand, the United Nations resolves legal disputes referred by nation states and provides advisory opinions on legal questions submitted by legitimate United Nations organs and agencies for the upholding of international law.
Hello everyone, I'm going to talk about the United Nations meets the 21st century confronting the challenges of global governance. Based on knowledge, norms, policy, institutions, and compliance. United Nations is a group of countries that work together and it's a global diplomatic and political organization dedicated to international peace and stability. Number 1. In terms of knowledge, the UN has the potential to be powerful for consolidating the knowledge from outside sources and disseminating it among governments. However, it is currently underappreciated in this regard. Ang kalagayan ng UN na magtipon at mag-organisa ng kaalaman mula sa labas ay hindi lubos na na-appreciate. Dapat itong mas maayos na magamit upang mapadali ang kaalaman ng gobyerno. Number 2. The UN faces the challenges in formulating a normative standard that can be applicable to all member states, given the contrasting moral structures of social behavior in different countries. Ang pagkakaiba ay ng moral na istruktura ng mga bansa ay nagpapahirap sa pagbuo ng isang normative standard na maaaring magamit sa lahat. 3. The UN sometimes faces problems when only member states are hard in formulating propositions. Non-governmental organization or NGO and global public opinion are often belittled and recommendations are not always executed. Ito ay mga problema kapag ang mga panukala ay binubuo lamang ng miyembro ng Estado, hindi pinapansin ng UN ang tulong na maaaring ibigay ng mga non-governmental organization at global public opinion, kaya hindi laging napapatupad ang mga rekomendasyon for institutions. Can sometimes be places where ideas are concerned and left behind. The modality and processes for enforcing compliance with international norms, laws are not always present. Fact, sometimes UN staff members violated, cheat, and challenge them. Ang mga institusyon ay lugar kung saan ang mga ideya ay nakakulong at napapabayaan. Hindi palaging mayroong modality at proseso para ipatupad ang pagsunod sa international na pamantayan at sa katunayan may mga ilang miyembro ng staff ng UN na sumuway ng daya at nakipaglaban dito. This saying states that although there are global norms and international laws that nation-states should adhere to, nation-states still had importance because international organization cannot exist without them. Additionally, international and multifunctional agreements are credited and driven by the states themselves According to Bertuzzi and Alberto 2018, the sovereignty of nation-states has not been weakened by globalization. In fact, cooperation and joint action among nation-states actually demonstrate the exercises of their sovereignty. Nation-states continue to play active roles in both local translational matters. In conclusions, the political aspects of globalization shape global governance in the present day. The only way to improve and progress interstate relationship is through cooperation among nation-states despite the challenges faced by United Nations.